What up, Buzz? You tapped in? Okay, Goose, you tapped in too? All right, Chicago, y'all tapped in? All right, boys, let's crack 'em. Feel like Mike in the fourth with the ball in my hands and I'm taking a shot. I'm the king in the madhouse on Madison, whether I make it or not. Now the crowd going crazy, they watching the play and I'm watching the clock. Got my shot in the air and the buzzer go off and I'm watching it drop. This team did things, MJ shot City 6 rings. D-Rose too big, too fast, too strong, history. And we good on that, put Jilla on the track and we good on whack. 3, 2, 1, everybody say Bulls on tap, Bulls on tap. Our city pretty and gritty, Benny the bull in the crowd getting hyper and litty. Me, I'm so drippy, it's slippery, nothing offends me. Banners on banners, we winners. We got the stats in the news, go and subscribe. Hang out with Buzzy and Goose, tapping with us, we the truth. Jilla just murdered the booth.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bulls on Tap. I'm your boy Buzz. I'm joined by my dude Goose, and we're here to talk about a Chicago Bulls victory over the Charlotte Hornets. We're also here to talk about a no trade market for Zach LaVine, a report that came out today that said the Bulls are going to stand pat, and Coby White being probably the most improved player in the league. We're going to start giving him his flowers because we need to talk about something good instead of shit all the time. Before we do that, be sure to go to OnTapSportsNet.com for our Chicago sports literature and podcasting needs. Following us on Twitter at Bulls on Tap and on Tap Sportsnet, Twitter, X, whatever the hell you call it. I don't care. Follow Goose at Goose on Tap and me at Buzz on Tap. Anywhere you can listen to podcasts, you can listen to us, 5-star rating review, because that's cool and tough. Go to the YouTube. Yeah, that's in the spiel. Go to the YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel because that's awesome. You should do that. And then what else? That's about it. Goose, I know we've been gone for a minute, a little rusty. I do apologize to you and to everybody for missing 2 weeks. Our last show was like a couple Wednesdays or a Thursday ago. Lost my uncle last week. It was kind of a rough week there, and then I was not able to return last night because it was these services. So now we're here tonight. So I'm sorry about that. Hug your loved ones close and talk to somebody if some shit's bothering you. Goose, I have a pair of scissors here, and I have some candy. I'm gonna open my bag of candy.
You do have candy.
It's not sour. It's not Sour Patch Kids. It's just like a little bullshit nerds thing. So.
Is it the little cluster balls?
Yeah, the little cluster balls.
The little nerd turds?
Yeah, those little gummies. Those are fucking fantastic.
Got some nerd turds? That makes me happy for you.
Those are good for your soul.
Okay.
Yeah, when your soul feels like shit. Yeah, when your soul feels like shit, nerds, gummy clusters, that'll fucking bring you back from the dead.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Right, well, let's get them scissors snipping.
Yeah.
That bag opened, and let's crack into this game. Where Coby White played like an all-star and, like you mentioned, probably should be the most improved player in the league when all things are said and done at the end of the season. And for the Bulls, that's fantastic because they inked him to a 3-year team-friendly deal at $12 million a year, which is only about a fourth of what Zach LaVine makes, and he's doing what Zach LaVine does for you. So that has to feel good, even though you might be stuck with Zach LaVine, as you pointed out as well. So that's not good.
Well, yeah, Coby bouncing off a bad game last night, where he didn't play up to the level that he has been playing from what we've seen recently, wasn't concerning at all. Like not everybody has it every night, but the response in the second of a back-to-back against the team, in my opinion, yeah,
you got to taste the home.
Yeah, he went hard, and against a team too. Like Charlotte's they suck. They're 10-36. LaMelo Ball's like his brother. They don't play often. When they do, they're exciting. But Miles Bridges and Brandon Miller, my goodness. And then they had PJ Washington going off on the bench, too. I mean, Charlotte played a decent game, hit a couple more threes than the Bulls, if I'm not mistaken. 16 threes for them, 11 for the Bulls tonight. I felt like there was a good balance for the most part. Vooch is driving me fucking nuts. I'm just going to tell you that now. He's driving me nuts. I didn't realize the softness. And if it was – do you think it's more apparent this season than it was last season?
So the softness has always been apparent, but when you're not doing the other things that you used to be quite a bit better at, it becomes a lot more apparent because it sticks out like a sore thumb then. Like
right.
When you got good shit to hide the softness, nobody cares if you're soft.
Right. I mean, shooting abysmal from the 3-point line on the season, then you got to be at least shooting 50% from the I'm
He is a stretch big who can't stretch the floor, and he can't protect the rim.
It's been bad.
For a center, he's just useless.
Yeah, I'm good on
which is crazy to say because he's he had 22 and 12 tonight.
Yeah.
But, with a matchup that he should win, I was not impressed even with that performance.
Right. Same here. DeMar, you only took 10 shots tonight. Got you 15 points, played 38 minutes, 4 boards, 3 assists. I'll tell you something right now about DeMar DeRozan. You want to talk about a guy that is literally – he's seeing what's happening in the shift. You know, I think that DeMar has realized that, and that's why we're not seeing him super, super aggressive as he once was, because he's finding out now how to change his game of not being the guy into being a complementary player to being. What do you think about that?
I think he's shifting. I also think we're in a weird spot where he doesn't know if he's going to be here. So what's the point of trying to steal this kid's shine? He's coming into his own. He's really owned this role. Past the trade deadline, maybe we see a more assertive DeMar, but obviously tonight is against a team who is not playing LaMelo ball. You are playing a guy that questionably shouldn't even still be in the league in Miles Bridges. And Brandon Miller, who's a rookie. So, letting Coby have the shine tonight, especially in his home state, where he holds the record for scoring the most points ever as a basketball player, only fitting to have the night that he had. With that being said, it is nice to see DeMar kind of be willing to take that step back, because our issue with the big three since this has been put together has been the lack of a hierarchy and not knowing who is that dude. And at least for this stretch of basketball without Zach LaVine, there doesn't seem to be much of a power struggle. There has been some moments to close games where DeMar has still gone into his king of the fourth mode. And
that happens more often than not in the fourth when DeMar's in. But, I mean, I have seen recently him defer a little bit. It didn't happen last night. Coby didn't, I don't know really what happened there with the communication. But I do see what you're saying. DeMar has been doing those fourth quarter takeovers more often than not.
Yeah, so that's still been par for the course. But to see DeMar, it's clear DeMar isn't the issue, which isn't necessarily good for the Bulls either, because it means that Zach LaVine is the issue, and he's got $40 million, and everybody else is seeing that he's probably the issue, unfortunately, because Lauri Markkanen got traded out of here, and you chose Zach LaVine over Lauri Markkanen, and Lauri Markkanen became an all-star.
Zach is a 2-time all-star.
Zach's a 2-time all-star because DeMar came here and allowed him to have success.
That's a very true point, but I do want to tell you one thing. This gets lost, and I believe you're right about Lauri Markkanen. I still got the signed jersey hanging over there.
I still got the signed number 7 basketball somewhere.
It's very easy to look good on a shitty team, and that clouds a lot of people's judgments, especially a lot of the people that do what we do, because they'll look at their numbers and be like, "Oh, look at this. He's going to be elite somewhere." So, no, you got to look at empty calories, and that's what I kind of said about LaVine like 3 years ago. And I got killed on Twitter about it. I said I think he can get good. He's got the skills to do so. It just never worked out that way. But I do.
35 games with Lonzo Ball.
Man, what 35 games that was, huh?
Glorious.
I want to read you off a couple names off this list here. I know we should probably be running through the game, but hey, man, they beat Charlotte without LaMelo. Good job, Bulls. If that's what
they also lost to the Raptors last night,
right?
Without Quickly, RJ, and Podol.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that shit. That was fucking stupid. That was.
So the last time we played the Raptors, we had to talk about how envious we were that they were able to hit the reset button. Now we had to play them after hitting the reset button
without some of the reset players.
Without most of the players that they got from hitting the reset button, and they still kicked our ass.
Whipped our ass. So I pulled up the NBA most improved player odds, and I want to read off a couple names to you. This is what I actually had planned for last Wednesday when we were going to roll, is talking about this shit to do something different and fun. So I wanted to talk to you about a couple names that are on this list. I saved it on my computer. They have Tyrese Maxey as the favorite to win, which I think is fucking stupid. I don't think I don't like that. I think that we known he's been very good. I think that
this isn't anything new. I suppose this is like the first season removed from Harden completely to kind of get that.
He was a player while Harden was there.
And it's been well known that he's kind of that dude, and that's why
I love Tyrese
able
Maxey.
to move away from Harden. So no, I kind of a little salty about that. But Joel Embiid's not not eligible for MVP. So, somebody on their team.
Someone's got to get the award, huh?
Yep.
That's fucking stupid. Sanguine from the Houston Rockets. He's in second place at plus 260. I don't like this either, but I guess it makes sense. Scotty Barnes, because he came off that shitty sophomore year. And it wasn't shitty. Yeah, it was a sophomore slump, but I mean, he's been electric. But Coby White, he's sitting in fourth right now.
So, but didn't Scotty win Rookie of the Year?
I believe he did.
So I have a gripe with that because I don't think you can be both the Rookie of the Year and the most improved player. I don't care how bad your sophomore slump was.
I'm going to confirm, my friend, because he was the Rookie of the Year in 2021, 2022.
So for me, sorry, you're ineligible.
So that ascension, that's what the award used to mean.
Exactly. You can't be the Rookie of the Year. I don't care how bad your slump was the second year, and then in your third year, be like, now I'm the most improved player.
Right.
No, sorry, you're disqualified. And I think that for me, with this list, and obviously Homer bias coming full force at you, everybody that you listed, I was already fully aware had arrived prior to this season.
What about Sanguine? We knew Sanguine was good, but I mean, he's doing some shit. I feel like that should be the race.
I mean, Coby and Sanguine I'd be all right with that, especially since the Rockets have had a substantial amount of success compared to what they've kind of done in recent years. So
it's good as fuck, dude. Like any chance I get to watch Houston, a lot of Houston fans don't like Jalen Green, which I know he's wildly.
He's got the Zach LaVine disease.
No, dude, he's so young. He's still so young.
You know how long we said that about Zach LaVine?
I never said that.
We said it all the way up until we paid him $40 million a year.
That's fucking mental. Like, there's a difference between those two.
No, we did. We literally traded Jimmy Butler in hopes that the guy with the
of course,
was going to be that dude.
I like
and he was that dude. And I mean, he's still one of the only players to score 50 points this season. So when you clip this, Brian, make sure you only clip the positive PR for Zach LaVine because there's a lot of negative shit.
There is. Well, that's a good segue into Zach LaVine. So obviously we talked about, we think Coby White should be the most improved player. God dang, man. I want to talk about Zach, but there's one guy I got to give flowers to real quick. I would assume has been nuts. Like over the last 7-8 games. He's been insane.
In fuego.
What's changed? I mean, he goes to the highest of highs of contributing to sometimes the lowest of lows. I'm really hoping we can find a happy median here. Tonight he went 7 of 10 from the field, 2 for 5 from downtown, 16 points, 6 assists, 3 steals. He started tonight too. He got a block in there as well.
It's because it's Io and Kobe's team now, and everybody just needs to accept that, and so do Acme. And they need
Coby White gave him flowers at the end of the game. They interviewed Kobe, and Kobe gushed about Io, dude. Saying how good he's been playing.
That's why Kobe needs to win the award too, because he's
elevating.
He's elevating everybody.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
That one's an individual award, but he really does. His leadership, which is something that's been lacking on this team. DeMar's a great, off-season leader, great behind-the-scenes leader, but Caruso's kind of always been our most vocal leader in general.
Yeah.
And Coby White has always been extremely vocal, but he's been like that little brother kind of vocal that annoys people and they don't really take seriously. But now that his play is backing it up and he's hyping everybody up and he's just bringing them with him, and they're riding the Kobe hype train, it's a little different.
We're watching a transition, and obviously we don't know where this transition leads, but Io and Kobe are locked up right now. So there's been trade rumors about Zach, about DeMar, and then today you get a rumor, Goose, that the Bulls aren't going to pull the trigger on anything. And my question to you as a fan of somebody, you watch every game, you're invested into the team, we do this podcast. Can you come up and without flying off the handle and us doing our typical bitching, can you come up with a logical reason why you would break up the, I guess what you've been looking for, continuity between what's working right now and then adding back in Zach, who clearly wasn't working? He looked lost out there.
I mean, you can't say that it didn't work. Obviously, we got 2 games against Charlotte for him to kind of start his comeback. So the win-loss swing with Zach back on the team is a little misleading because the caliber of competition that we were playing wasn't really that great. So win-loss, it still looked good, and he had at least one game in there that stood out where it was like, all right, dude,
he's back or whatever.
Contribute to the team.
Right.
And he had everybody singing his praises and like, no, we're not trading, dude. We're going, Bulls are back, full steam ahead, and whatever. I don't feel that way, obviously, but we know how this front office is. For the part of our lives that has mattered, this team has been so content being mediocre. Even when they had the league's youngest MVP, they didn't go all in.
I know, dude. Like
they were content with Keith Bogans in their starting lineup.
That year they had all that bullshit too, like walk down memory lane 2011 when they talked about fucking OJ Mayo, those rumors and pairing him and Rose next to each other. Man, that was something. But we ended up getting Rip Hamilton on a small deal.
That masked man provided some entertainment.
Yeah, he did. Remember when Wade fucking pushed him into the stands? Pepperidge Farm remembers. I'll tell you that. You can't bring him back in, Goose. I mean,
no, but you have to. You pay him $40 million. He makes like 33% of the team's entire salary.
Yes, I know, man. And again, I don't.
So with that being said, because we wanted to segue into this anyway,
right?
Are you taking just expiring salary? Would you take Mike Richards and Gordon Hayward for Zach LaVine just to not have to put him back on the floor?
Yeah. I'm chasing my picks, dude. Look at where we're in hell. We're in hell.
So, but getting rid of him, as we've seen, isn't necessarily going to make the team worse. Getting rid of him could actually, as oddly as it is,
fire sailing
make the team. But we're fire sailing.
Right.
They're just trying to trade Zach LaVine. That's all they've been doing.
Yeah, no, I know.
And unfortunately, they have not played bad enough outside of last night in that performance to really make you feel as a fan that this front office is finally going to be like, we're done with continuity.
You're right. I got to stop putting my own perspective into it and say what the team's actually going to do.
What the team is probably actually going to do is trade Zach LaVine or nothing. Me and you would trade DeMar. We'd trade Caruso. We'd trade Andre Drummond. We would recoup and see that, okay, it's awesome. Well, we've seen development and progress from Io, from Coby, from Pat to a lesser degree, which is somewhat okay because he's going.
Shit, even Julian Phillips.
So, but you see that, and maybe they're smart enough to see what we see. They said they acknowledged it earlier in the season when we were legitimately struggling, but maybe that still was just get rid of Zach and improve the roster and go from there. But they have to know that this dance with DeMar is about done. There's no way you're going to pay that dude $25 million.
You can't. No, this is it. And I'll tell you what, they do. This is the thing that they've said, and this is something that kind of creeped into my mind as you were just talking right there. But remember the whole making the Bulls a player-friendly team and making them great again and all that kind of shit, or whatever they said, making them cool again or whatever.
Yeah, we're going to go cool. We're not going to use that other guy's slogan and put it with the Bulls.
Whose slogan is that?
Make them great again.
Oh shit! You see, I don't fucking do the politics.
I don't do the politics either, but that I've seen that one on enough hats.
Yeah, I'm sure. I actually have too, but I didn't even fucking. That was unintentional, completely. They're all crooks. Vote Buzz. But anyway,
it'll be the first time I've ever voted. I will vote Buzz.
Fuck yeah, dude. But. Where I'm at with it now is they had the rumored trade with Detroit, okay, and then and I can't remember who the reporting was last week. Was so fucking nuts for me.
It was Bogdanovich.
Yeah, and maybe Isaiah Stewart or something was in there, and for like Zach and Carter.
You could get Joe Harris is expiring.
Yeah, Joe Harris was in there.
So it would have been expirings and an upgrade in a sense, and somebody that could contribute to your team and.
In a need that you have, kind of a big body that can stretch floor and hit the three. If you're trying to compete, I mean, it's not going to be a needle mover, but it's going to look better out on the court.
I mean, it's more of a needle mover than $40 million sitting on your bench and not playing.
That's very true. So, like, when I saw that trade come across, then people had said, like that stupid diehard Chicago Bulls fan page on Twitter and Facebook that makes up all the shit. Like, oh, the proposed rumor is fucking Killian Hayes or Osir or Eamon Thompson or whatever the kid that one Osir over there. Yeah, or Jaden Ivey or who else was in there?
And I feel like Jaden Ivey of all of their blue chip prospects is the one that would potentially be available in a deal with them.
They said no.
The report, but
I'm telling you what, Goose, if you tell me right now it's Bogdanovich, fuck Joe Harris. I mean, I'll take him. Don't get me wrong, but Bogdanovich and Ivy, I'm doing that 9 times in a row. I mean,
and for both sides, you kind of have to think that would be the case because you can't pay Ivy and take on LaVine. Like you take on Zach LaVine, you're ruining Ivy's career.
Why is he going to sit behind him? Ivy needs the ball in his hand in development. He doesn't need to be splitting time. He's got that talent.
I guess you could say the same thing about him coming here and being behind Coby.
Coby's a point guard. Look what he's doing. He's running. You just said he's elevating people.
He's elevating people with his leadership. He almost had a 35-point triple-double tonight. I know, but I'm still tentative to give the full. He's a point guard.
Is it because of the scoring prowess behind it and how badly they need it?
I mean,
is that why you don't want to call him point guard?
It's just he's a great initiator. I'll leave it.
Okay, no, that's fair.
I'll leave it at that.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fair. I get it.
But when it comes to having another super ball dominant guy, I guess he is coexisting with DeMar right now.
Yeah, it's about learning how to play together, man, and going off of people's strengths. I mean, that's the thing here. And if Coby is really blossoming into a leader role, and like I said, he gushes about his teammates all the time. He's a fucking constant professional. But again, like you said, he's making people better around him. Maybe you're kind of seeing like the rebirth of his career to a certain extent. And I know that he's still young in his career, but there's a lot of people ready to ship him out last year. We were like one of the only shows like, damn, what do we do? Because you got Io, you got Coby, but I like Coby, man. Coby could shoot the rock. Coby could fucking score. He's a microwave. He gets hot instantly. And then it went away. And then now you literally put the balls in his hand and you're like, whoa, we're talking about an award.
You put the what in his hand?
The ball. Did I say balls? Yeah, I did, dude. That's all right. Hey, I don't judge. People do what they do, and that's fine. I'm not paying their bills. They do what they need to do. But he puts the ball in his hand. He becomes what people are calling an all-star, or at least on the brink of being one. I mean, listen, he might win a major NBA award this year if he keeps this up.
He should. I mean, unfortunately, the Bulls' mediocrity might keep that from him. But his story, his recognition in the league has definitely spread far and wide.
I mean, if the Bulls are 2 games under 500, that kid should be winning that award. I'm serious. I mean, they're 3 games under 500 right now at 23-26.
If the Bulls do what we want them to do and are hard sellers, does that impact his chances in a negative way to get that award?
You know what?
Because then he gets more opportunity to just stat pad.
Yeah, but he's kind of got all the opportunity now, and it's on a competitive team that he literally came in and took over with question marks about which veteran is.
So the success with the points and the performances is more important, you think, than more freedom?
Yeah, I think so. I think you're probably right. Yeah, I think that would probably be what gets him it. But back to Zach, the salary dump trade with a protected first-round pick, are you in on that or no?
Given the current state of affairs, if they were having a fire sale, I would say yes. If they're sticking to this team and they plan on paying DeMar, which I guess I don't know how that works because you go into the tax pretty far then. And maybe that's why they're feeling the pressure to trade Zach for just dead cap, because then they can actually extend DeMar, which I don't want to see either.
But let me ask you this. I mean, if they give the keys, and I don't want to see that either, Goose, but think about this for a moment. Like, if you're going to give the backcourt keys to Coby and Io and until whatever happens, and you bring in a vet, you start trying to add young talent, maybe you move Vooch, get into free agency, add some younger guys, see what happens. Because you got, like you said, you got kind of a little core there. They're not a great core. They're going to be struggle, but having a vet would be all right, right?
I'd like to get rid of everybody, and I'd like to have Kuminga where Julian Phillips would be if you don't get a Kuminga while you're doing your fire sale. But Coby, Io, Kuminga, Pat, and Vooch until you can get rid of him is kind of like a squad that I'd like.
That's like I agree with you. He's the most likely one to. Well, actually, you know what? Not anymore. he's not the most likely one to stay anymore because we can't move Zach.
I think in these next 8 days that phone is going to start heating up for Zach. The shit is hitting the fan in Lakerland, and I don't think Murray is necessarily the answer for them. The Lakers aren't a bad defensive team. They have Anthony Davis and they have Vando. So
perimeter defense, LeBron don't move.
LeBron
Austin Reeves would get cooked by anybody.
Austin Reeves doesn't really move, and D'Lo doesn't really move. But LeBron James is also their best three-point shooter right now outside of Reeves. And Zach LaVine can shoot three-pointers. He holds records for three-pointers. And if Zach LaVine can just be a catch-and-shoot guy and doesn't have to facilitate your offense for you, that's when Zach LaVine's probably at his best. Anyway.
I mean, that could be a rebirth, like you said earlier in the year. That could be a rebirth for his career, too. But, I mean, that trade looks wildly different now with the Lakers sliding. That looks wildly different because I'm not just taking bullshit salary from the Lakers.
Well, as much as I don't want to see that happen like we just covered for the last 5 minutes, moving Zach for nothing is almost better than doing nothing at this point because he is dead weight. And at least you go into the offseason and you can use that money to, even if it is to retain DeMar, which I don't want to see happen at 20+ mil, because we're seeing with Vooch how that works when guys get to that stage of their career, even though DeMar's had extreme success here to the point where you'd question that this is the best stretch of basketball that he's played in his career. I still don't think that that's the right move. But even if freeing up that cap space is what that results in, you still did positive things instead of bringing a guy back who's kind of clearly proven doesn't fit with what you're trying to do. And it's just mutually beneficial for both sides for him to go somewhere else. And I think it would be funnier for him to land in Detroit in that scenario because it's not LA where he wanted to go. It's a shittier location that has lost even more games. He's tasked with being the hero.
Are you at all surprised by the mainstream media's coverage of Zach? Since all of this kind of started, I don't know if you've been watching NBA TV or listening to anything else or whatever, but
no, I'm not surprised by it at all. Given the fact that he's barely played the season, when he has played the season, it hasn't been to the level that we have grown accustomed to the last 2 seasons prior to this one, and the fact that he's represented by Clutch Media and tanking his value had benefit to them at one point. I think they realized in this scenario they might have played that card a little too hard, and now the Bulls simply won't move him for how low his value has moved down to. But we're going to figure that out in 8 days.
If Acme stands pat, what's your initial reaction?
Going to be an interesting offseason with a whole lot of nothing done.
Yeah. Because
the money that you free up from losing DeMar is probably just going to evaporate. It's not like it's going to be replaced by a star if you don't bring it back. So all around, it's just a conundrum. And the only positive is that you did sign Coby and Io. This previous offseason, you did retain them to multi-year deals. Otherwise, you really don't have a young core that you're looking at building because you're going into this offseason having to pay Patrick Williams too.
A lot of decisions coming up for them, man. A lot of decisions. When I saw that with Zach and then them standing pat again, I'm just like, dude. Yeah, I used to get all hyped up and pissed off about it, but I mean,
I'm not going to get hyped and I'm not going to get pissed yet.
I
think they know that something has to be done at this point, although at the same time they can convince themselves, so we're still competing the same way that we were minus Lonzo, and we're getting Lonzo back next year. So, yeah, they're at the end of their salary. This should be the end of their window, but we've seen them extend Vooch, and hopefully that's a sign to them that this is just over, but they are treading water good enough to convince themselves to stay the course.
Man, he had about a bitch. Basketball hell again. All right. Next game, Goose is up against the Sacramento Kings. There was a rumor that came out that they were interested in Zach LaVine again. I saw that on Twitter.
I'll take Red Velvet and salary filler. Give me Davion Mitchell. I like his potential.
Yeah, you take Kevin Huerter or Davion Mitchell in a pick?
Yeah. I mean, even if it's a protected pick, that's not going to convey.
Can that get it done?
I mean, if the Kings are motivated,
I meant salary-wise.
I think you get close because I know Huerter makes close to like 20 million. It's in the 18 to 20 million range.
Right.
Mitchell was a first round pick, but I think he was like late lottery. So he probably makes around 5 mil at this point towards the end of his rookie deal there. So you're about like 10 mil short. I don't know if you got to throw Harrison Barnes in there, but then you might. I don't know. Then you might be asking too much from them.
Yeah.
And then you probably got to throw Caruso in there or Andre Drummond. Maybe you could throw Drummond in there. Drummond and Zach for, Barnes, Red Velvet, and Davion Mitchell on a protected pick.
See, that'd be nice. That'd be nice.
No, but they're actually shopping Davion Mitchell. So that's
right.
That's not like talking about Keegan Murray, which would be what we'd want. But
ain't happening.
But in a realm of possibility, the guy that's actually available on the market would be somebody, and both of those guys have been mentioned, at least Huerter and Mitchell there. So a combination of those two and some other salary filler for Zach. We've got Detroit, we've got the Lakers, maybe the Spurs re-become a suitor if the price is as low as simply salary cap and we see Dougie Buckets in a Bulls jersey again. We'll see. We literally have 8 days. We went 14 days in between shows the last time here. So we take another mini hiatus. We come back, and Zach LaVine may or may not be gone. I'm betting he's going to be here, but this situation's got awkward enough to where it simply might have forced their hand to take the lesser value that they're looking at.
See, that was a good closing thought that you just had there. You just did it. I didn't even have to ask you for it.
Look at that.
I don't think we're going to wait another 2 weeks, so we'll probably go live. Again.
No, we're going to go live again on Saturday just because it's been so long.
Right.
And I like seeing your beautiful face.
Yeah, no, I promise you we'll go live on Saturday. I won't skip Saturday for my extracurricular activities this week. I will just, I'll be a good worker and I'll get the job done. I won't take my weekend off.
Oh, look at you clocking in on the weekend. You can be sauced. There's nothing wrong with being sauced.
Yeah, man, I can't do. You know what, dude? I'm telling.
The people have seen you break shit. It's okay.
I know, but I'm a different man now.
You're a different man now.
No, I'm not. But I can't do it sauced anymore. I don't know why. I just screen
you get
starts
stage
moving.
fright when you're sauced.
No, the screen starts moving. I forget like little steps. Remember, like I forgot to go live on 2 things and shit. Like I don't know. Had trouble posting the fucking.
So you're not supposed to drink and go to work, is what you're telling people.
You're not supposed to do that. So I can't. This is like my second job, so I can't be doing that. You know what I mean? I got to stay.
Even though you're in your basement, you can only get a little sauced.
Yeah, just a little tiny bit. I got to wait till after the podcast to do so. You know what I mean?
I got
you. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see you guys on Saturday, right? After the Bulls take on the Sacramento Kings. I already told you where to follow us. I already told you where to subscribe. Do those things. If you missed it, listen to the beginning of the episode. We'll see you in a couple days. Hopefully Zach LaVine's gone.